Something we have talked about in previous videos, the creators of South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, recently signed a contract worth $900 million. As part of this deal, they extended the series up to season 30, along with additional content being released outside of the main show. Bear in mind, they are currently on season 24 as of right now, if we include the recent pandemic-related specials.
Oh, hang on, sorry, didn't somebody say the pandemic special was a bad idea?
For where the show will continue, we finally have our first look at the next project for the series. This is going to be one of 14 made-for-streaming movies on Paramount+. It was stated back in August when the deal was signed that 2 of these so-called movies would be releasing this year of 2021. Going forward, the creators would aim to make 2 movies and release them each year. Concerning the release schedule for this year, I kinda took this with a pinch of salt initially. Under the circumstances of trying to get the studio back together following the arrangements of working from home, it seemed too constrained for a new release to happen so quickly. But of course, here we are. As of today, November 18th, 2021, we have our first look at the upcoming post-COVID special. For the new contract, this will be the first of the upcoming specials teased back in August. Thankfully, we also have a release date where the special will be made available for Thanksgiving on November 25th, 2021. Sadly, this special will not be airing on television, and I honestly don't think it ever will. With how these TV movies have been produced, it has been designed specifically for airing on the streaming service Paramount+. I believe the entire series is currently streaming on HBO Max, but with this change, I would imagine the show will eventually be moving once the special drops on Paramount+. This obviously isn't confirmed as of right now, just speculation on my part. It would make sense though for the series to move under the flagship event of new content being made available exclusive to stream. For some regions, the news of where this is going to be streamed is rather disappointing. For me personally, as someone who lives in the UK, we won't be seeing Paramount Plus until early 2022 if we're lucky. Though of course there are alternative mediums available when it comes to seeking out media that has not been made available evenly.
Now you're moral!
I'll leave this to your own moral compass, but sometimes you've got to cross deeper waters to find the treasure. Already, the marketing for this special has me hooked on how the story is going to be told. We do see the 4 boys in their traditional animated appearance, but this teaser does not give us any new footage of the boys in their youth. The majority of this teaser shows Stan and Kyle fully aged up into adults. Granted, we have seen glimpses of this concept done before. One of my personal favourite episodes is My Future Self and Me from Season 6. This is where Stan's parents employ an actor to pretend to be Stan from the future.
Oh, dude, how's it going, man?
The actor encompasses Stan, who apparently touched drugs, trying to teach Stan not to follow the same path as he did. This time, however, things are unusually different and almost self-referential. Possibly inspired by the story It, this special looks to be revisiting the town of South Park and reliving moments from eras long gone. The teaser begins with a throwback to the season 11 episode Le Petit Tourette, where Cartman sits back in the classroom repeating vulgar phrases. This cuts to another throwback to the season 4 episode Cartman Joins Nambler. The boys are playing a board game where Cartman draws a card that is supposedly going to give Kyle AIDS. I find it unusual how Cartman is arguably the main focus for these clips. Getting to the most interesting content, the on-screen text then asks, "What will the future hold?" where we cut to a phone call between a much older Stan and Kyle. Considering how these 2 characters were consistent as best friends throughout the majority of the series, this phone call instead infers that the boys have since separated. Even though we don't see Cartman and Kenny, the same can perhaps be assumed of these 2 characters. Looking at the designs, I really like how these characters have been aged up appropriately. For Stan and Kyle, outside of Stan's so-called future self, this is something that we have never really seen before. The voices also suitably match this change. If you weren't aware, Trey and Matt perform the voices of Stan and Kyle. This is later edited in post-production where the voiceover is made to sound squeakier by making alterations to the pitch. With the minimal dialogue we have, I love how Kyle sounds exactly like his father. Judging from the background details, Kyle has ventured into being a counselor and may perhaps still be at South Park Elementary. With the South Park Cows banner slightly obscured on the wall, Kyle may have taken Mr. Mackey's role at the school. Not much is revealed in relation to Stan. He appears to still be living in South Park, judging from this shot where he is seated in the church. From the dialogue, however, it sounds as though something has occurred in the town and Stan is none the wiser to these events. If this is the case, Stan may have moved away but later returned to the town where something just doesn't seem right. As for what has actually happened, this currently remains a mystery. There is a brief shot of the chaos unfolding on the main street we often see featured in the show. It would make sense for this to take place in the future, where we see a Back to the Future 2 style hoverboard and a flying car racing out of control. All of these characters featured in the clip look to be extras, as I cannot spot any specific named characters. Of course, this would make sense as the majority of this special is going to take place in the future. One aspect to consider is the continuity of the series, especially with where these streaming specials are going to fit into place. Since season 18, the show changed direction and attempted to retain a formula of serialization. Although somewhat inconsistent, several elements of this change to the show's formula have remained in place. In the vaccination special, which is the last piece of South Park content we have received, the boys and their friendship was on the verge of breaking down. Specifically, this was about remaining friends for the benefit of Kenny so as to not upset him. I have no idea whether or not this plot thread is going to be expanded upon, or whether this will have any influence on the upcoming special. It can be argued that the special is going to take place at least 15 to 20 years into the future. Again, the setting is not confirmed, but if the boys are around 10 years old now, this would make sense. Going back to the deal signed in August, Matt Stone is quoted from The Hollywood Reporter saying, "We're trying to make what's on Paramount Plus different from anywhere else, so hour-long, made-for-TV movies is where our head is at." With this content being far removed from the traditional South Park episodes we know and love, this more than likely hints at the streaming movies utilizing adult versions of the beloved main characters. Whether or not this will be an ongoing story or theme, only time will tell. The teaser ends with Stan confronting his father Randy in what looks to be a nursing home. Making reference to COVID, which was revealed to be Randy's fault in the pandemic specials, Stan exclaims that nobody wants another marijuana special. Randy replies with, "It's not a special, it's an exclusive event." Obviously, this is a play on words for the TV movie releasing on Paramount Plus, but in universe, this will likely mean something else. Maybe this is going to be something more sinister than we've seen before. At this point, anything does seem possible. Anyhow, that's going to wrap up my speculation on the upcoming South Park post-COVID special. As usual, I am excited to see what new direction the series will take. I really enjoyed the previous specials, so I have high hopes for where this story thread will continue. Let me know in the comments how you feel about the new changes to South Park's distribution, or if you have any further speculation to offer from this teaser. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave me a like down below, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, DVD Review Studios, for more upcoming content.
Are you threatening me?